Hello out there to my Facebook friends, followers, and the like. It's Jonathan Bengal, and I'm coming to you live on a very spontaneous moment. And part of the spontaneity is that I was trying to do a green screen thing, but it didn't work. Nevertheless, so as many of you know, I'm all about spontaneity. I'm all about last minute type things. And I decided that today, while I was working with someone, a dear friend of mine, who's become a very dear friend of mine, him and I were talking about what it is that we're trying to ultimately achieve in this life. And what him and I both have concluded that we are on the same mission, which is to help women to find their power, and gay men, don't forget, to find their power, to reconnect with it, to find their value, their self-worth, and ultimately self-acceptance, and how it all translates into, are you ready? Your personal life, your business life, and your tax. So I'm going to invite Jay now to come on board, and I'm going to have him introduce himself, and I'm going to just interview him, find out a little bit more, and then ultimately how it all comes back to who we are. All right. Hello, Jay.
Hey, Jonathan.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you, by the way, for being so spontaneous with me. Like, I love the fact that you're just willing to just try it. Like everyone, you got to try it at least once until you know, right? So,
Absolutely.
so Jay, just introduce yourself. Who are you? Who's your company? What's your specialty? That kind of stuff.
Oh, that's tough. Jay Dahal, I'm a CPA here down in California. Started my career with PwC for 5 years in public accounting, and I thought that's not for me. I don't want to work for a big four and helping all the corporate people. Versus, I felt a lot of connections with these small business owners, whereby I can bring in my expertise and then help them on achieving their goals. So I specialize mostly in individual and business tax planning and help the small business SMEs, entrepreneurs, and then high net worth people here in the Silicon Valley and throughout the nations. So my goal is to focus on those small business owners, help them untangle a lot of IRS loopholes and help them to solve tax problems and save money on taxes so that they can achieve their dream of whatever the dream it is, whatever they wanted to achieve in their life. So here I come, spontaneous.
Jay, you there's something special about you though, and that is where do you come from, and what have you done in your career to benefit others?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Nepal for 17 years, and then at the age of 17, I alone came to America. I'm fortunate that my parents helped me to get here. So once I get here, I finished my undergrad in accounting from Brigham Young University, and
Mm.
landed a corporate job. And the day that I landed a corporate job, I knew that I'm here. I was one of the lucky kid. Didn't came from a prosperous family. We're pretty poor back home. My first cell phone was when I got here in America at the age of 17. My first computer too. So I work hard to get that, and then so my always dream is to do something back home. Having that, working in the professionals world here and creating my own business. I always wanted to bring back to the community that I came from, where I came from. So I started out, outsourcing accounting from back in Nepal so that I can create more jobs back home. So whenever I go back, I can feel proud, and then I can tell that hey, I left Nepal, but I didn't really leave Nepal because I want to create more jobs. I want to feed more families. I want to create more intellectual people so that they can cater their academics and then their intellectual knowledge to help people around the globe. So since this world is becoming so smaller because of technology, so that has helped us a lot.
So, like, and one thing that you mentioned about the fact that you outsource. So you're outsourcing accounting work, tax work, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
How long have you been doing this for?
Oh, so I started my own firm in 2013, but at that time I was slowly growing because I was working both part time and then working PwC at the same time. So I left PwC full time in 2015, and I was full time in my own firm. And after that, I knew that quality is always at the peak in our professions that we can't do anything about it. But the cost that we can actually mitigate, the high labor cost out here in the U.S. and especially in California, where the minimum wage is pretty significant. So at that time, I realized that I need to do something about it, and Having said, and I came from Nepal, where there are a lot of chartered accountants back home in Nepal, which is similar to certified public accountant here in the U.S. with the same level of expertise. Then I figured, why not I just try it out? So it took me a while. Given I started in 2013, I didn't really start my offshore team until late 2017. I would even say 2018, early 2018. So it took me almost 2 years to build my own firm back home. Yeah.
For the up and coming aspiring accountants like ourselves that are saying, you know what, we're already a multi six figure earner. Some of us are seven figure earners, and we want to expand without necessarily having to put more resources into very expensive labor, which is unfortunate. So you're offering an alternative solution to this, are you not?
Absolutely. Yes.
And I'll share with you before we actually like started talking with each other and so forth and so on. One of my fears was I don't even know who these people are, and will my clients trust, the idea that someone is working on their books, working on the compliance side of their life, and what have you found to be true or not true about that statement since you've been doing this since for however many years you've been doing this for?
Right. So I think it's about the trust that you were trust with the. So let me step back. So basically, first it's having candid conversations with your client. It's the reason that there is one fundamental reason that we outsource is because we wanted to cut cost, not quality. Always keep that in mind. And I know people have fear of what if my data is going to get compromised and whatnot. Right. So we do everything possible to mitigate all those issues. Working through a virtual private network so that anything and everything that is done offshore is never downloadable to the computers. Rooms are secure, it's clean, meaning biometric entry, or not downloading anything to the secure drive, being able to work virtually in the US. So basically you just think about them as your local resources, but they are working in the internet, basically, right? So that what that does is, one, it solves a great problem of the expensive labor here, because you can actually resource them in one third of a cost. And then in terms of quality, they are a certified accountant in their respective country, which is something similar to here. They are well qualified to do the similar task with the one third of the cost. So that couple things, those things helps a lot. And again, at the end of the day, federally we're mandated to disclose to the clients, and if they agree, they can utilize us because in terms of quality, they'll work the same level of the U.S. associate level here, and then in a very secure environment.
And what I love about it is something that we were talking about, which I didn't even know, is that you actually have security guards. Like you actually have guards on the campus.
24-hour, yeah.
So
So
that's massive.
yeah, it is. So I think we have, so in the room that our folks work in, it's a biometric, so nobody besides the team can actually get in. And then outside in the building, there's a security guard 24 hours. So there's no other third person can come in and enter into the building just like that. Because if you think about it, I have my own team working 24/7, because we have a daytime here in the US. We have two people working in the nighttime as a customer support. So if somebody needs them, we have people available. The team is available. Customer success manager is on board at all times, so that if clients want something or if they need something for any urgent request, we have somebody available at all times.
And you're the owner of this outsourced company in Nepal, correct?
Correct. We are. It's a subsidiary, so we 100%.
That's what I'm talking about. So you already have your full set. So here's why I brought you on here so spontaneously, is twofold. One is that there are a lot of accountants that you and I both know here in the United States, and there's a lot of accountants that have this inherent fear, like I do and did, about basically outsourcing somewhere else. And like for me, and I think this is for a lot of accountants, hell, this is true for a lot of entrepreneurs. We are ultimately seeking the ultimate freedom, the freedom of choice, the freedom of lifestyle, the freedom of who we love and when to love, the freedom of who we work with, the freedom of everything, right? And part of the struggle that I know that smaller CPA firms like or EA firms like myself, that again we're just multi six figures, um, part of our struggle is expansion, bringing on more higher end clients, but yet offering high quality services, even to those that may not necessarily be at that seven figure mark, that are just approaching the six figure mark. And so bringing them on into our services, which then could translate into being offshored, which is, I don't really like that word now that I think about it as I'm saying it out
Hmm.
loud with you, because it sounds as if, oh, this is Coco,
Hi,
by the way.
Coco. Hi,
So, hi,
Coco.
hi. You trying to be on my show? Is that what it is? What's your tax advice for today? Her tax advice is to buy her more cookies. I know. This is who she is. So I just realized that saying out loud outsourcing is not the truth. The truth is it's not. We're handing you off for someone else to take over and manage who you are. That is not what you're saying. What we're saying is that the compliance work, the day-to-day grunt work, let's call it for what it is. Let's be naked and tell the truth. It's
Hmm.
the grunt work. It's the day-to-day bookkeeping. It's the day-to-day accounting work. Right now it's tax season. It's the tax data entry work. It's the shit that you and I got tired of doing because we've been doing this for 17 plus years.
Yep.
And we realized that our expertise is right here, which is to hear people's stories, to listen to their pain, and to help them to solve that pain, which the end result are personalized tax plans.
Hmm.
And if you're an accountant and you're listening to this, your ultimate wish, I know, is like everybody else's, which is to be happy. And one way to be happy is to dip your toes into the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean and try and see if outsourcing might be a thing for you. You know, I'm part of the a new marketing world. My new tribe are basically speakers, authors, entrepreneurs, of that sorts. And majority of them have some type of virtual assistant already. And in fact, there's a big name guy that goes around and that's all he's ever done. He just built a VA company and that's what he provides. What I love about what you do, Jay, is you're bringing it down to a further niche and you're saying it's accountants that I want to work with to show them the possibility of giving up their time for the first time in their life. They will be able to have weekends during tax season. They'll be able
Hmm.
to get on Naked Tax Talk with JB last minute because they're not stuck behind a desk doing tax returns. Like
No.
for the first time in their life, they will go on vacation, on cruises in January and February, like what I just did recently. And you're saying, I am the solution.
Exactly. And then just to piggyback on what you just said, um, while you are in the cruise, your tax return is getting done. Somebody else
Yes.
work, right? And I, like you said, I hate to use the word officer, but I will tell them that they are a remote local employees, right? They are just remote. They're available. They are just remote. They are just working on their own time, basically, while you're sleeping and getting your tax done. So essentially, uh, I like what you mentioned, to be ultimate happiness in your life. And you already have a choice, God gave you a choice to be happy or to be unhappy. What are you going to choose, right? Are you going to choose unhappy? Definitely not. That's not our life. And then, grinding through the tax season and being unhappy and miserable, that's not the life we choose for. We just
No.
get this one time. We never know, you know? So that's why, choose your time wisely. And then I think there's so much things out there that you can utilize to make your life uh, worthy.
You know, it's funny you say that because I like to talk about human choice, and you hear that a lot that's spit out there from different faiths, different philosophies, right? We have choice, 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 choice. And it used to offend me because it was like people would use that against me. They'd say, you have a choice to be straight, for example. Um, but I back up and I say this. We are each one of us, as Buddha taught me, that we're all walking through this thing called the fog of ignorance. And we just don't know what is really happening until we become aware of it. And that
Mhm.
removes the fog, right? So,
Yep.
in many ways, people who are watching this, like, for example, Aleski Kaplan. Hello, by the way. I saw we connected at in July at the AICTC reunion. You probably remember Jay, and then of course my lovely friend Lise, who's also looking and watching us. Um, you know, the truth is that once we become aware that now we have a choice, and now we can decide to move forward or we can go backwards. This is the choice now. This is awareness. And like you just said, we want we want happiness. And so we're
Mhm.
naturally going to gravitate towards what makes us happy. And to be honest with you, what's going to make me freaking happy is using not to use the word use, utilizing your services, your team to set me free so that I can continue to do the things that I really want to do with my own business, my own time, which is to inspire women and gay men to find their power, to find and reconnect with their true sense of value and worth, which I know reflects into the business, which then I know because I did this in the last 9 months. When I
Mhm.
stepped into my own self acceptance, I went from struggling to make six figures to boom, bada bang, making six figures. And not only that, though, but once I stepped into my self acceptance of who I really am, I started attracting all the right people who want to work with me.
Right.
So, Jay, this is Naked Tax Talk after alls. And for our lovely non tax people out there, what's a good tax tip that you would give, and just the tip, nothing more, that you would give to share during this lovely tax season holiday?
I will say choose the right expert whenever you're handling your taxes. Like when I say this, what I mean by that is people just think that going to a tax preparer and filing a tax is just like going to a dentist and cleaning their teeth, right? So I wanted to make sure that every taxpayer deserve to, you know, not pay tax too much what they're already paying, because there's so many loopholes out there that an expert tax accountant can able to save you that money and to achieve whatever you dream of. Um, with that saving, right? To utilize this money to achieve your dream. It could be anything. So basically, just to choose the right person whenever you're filing taxes.
It's like truly investing in the right sexual partner. I mean, if you just go home with some random dude or some random chick, it might be the most lousiest lay of your life. You spent a lot of your resources, aka time. Maybe you bought them drinks, and you end up going with them home, and it turns out to be a flop. Like no
Yeah,
one wants that, right?
yeah, no one wants that. So
so
choose wisely.
So choose wisely, right? Choose the person you're buying drinks for. Choose the person that you're ultimately going to decide to take home for the evening, and hopefully it turns into a long-term relationship. Is that right?
Yeah, and then you always have a choice. You just need to be. I like what you said on the Buddhist teaching that you have to be self-aware. I think that's very important. And then this moment, this is always inevitable. You cannot change this, right? So make sure that you are fully aware of what you're choosing, and it comes to tax accountant as well because they can change their life.
Yeah. Now let me ask you something, because you've been doing this for how many years now?
I started my career in 2011, so well, yeah, 2011, about 9 years.
About 9 years, and because you're young, you're actually a young guy, and
Thank
we
you.
won't give away our
Do I look
age
young?
yet. And I mean, I've been doing this for 17 years. Um, so in the 9 years that you've been doing this, have you found that it's really about the taxes, or is there an underlying current that's
Not
really at the issue?
not at all. I think it's about the relationship. It's about what do you want. It's about what your needs are. It's about connections. It's about trust, right? Um, since people are not fully aware of what they're doing, they're just thinking this is just a compliance that I have to do every year. I think filing taxes and building relationship with the tax accountant, it's a choice. And then that's what I think.
Now, Jay, if I'm an accountant and I want to
Mhm.
know more, what's one free tip, and just the tip, that you could share with us if I'm thinking about maybe outsourcing, maybe for next tax season, or maybe this tax season, or whatever?
I would say, whenever it comes to the word outsource, it has always been misleaded by, tons of, spam messages and emails and LinkedIn messages, Facebook messages come to you guys saying that, hey, I can outsource for $2 an hour. I can outsource for $7 an hour and whatnot, right? I think choosing a right outsourcing partner who knows or who is certified and who knows what they're doing here in the US is going to really help you do streamline your process. I think That's what we can do and help you out how to outsource an accounting firm, and then how can you utilize your how can you have your own personal space.
Now, what keeps you attached to Nepal?
It's my root. A tree can't survive without its root, right? That's where I come from. So it's underneath me. It's always going to be. I have to manure. I have to put water. I have to put everything out there so that me, I can blossom every day. Right?
Because at the end of the day, I forget who said it to me recently, but if we think about it, when we say "I am," what we're saying is that we're everything and we're everywhere.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
You know, which is true. So, so one last thing here is this. So, in conclusion, we're going to wrap this up. 20 minutes is long enough for most people to listen to.
Yeah.
Um, is this? If you're an accountant yourself right now and you're just like, you know what, I'm so burnt out. A tax season's coming up. It's hitting full steam ahead. And quite honestly, I really want to do other things in my life. Now is the time to start considering outsourcing, uh, resourcing somewhere else to get rid of the grunt work to let you shine in your zone of genius. And Jay here is working with us to tune into our zone of genius and freeing up the time so that we could go do the things that we were really meant to do in this lifetime. And by the way, how do we know that? Because when you talk to people, whether it's about your personal life, your business life, your financial life, and they say yes and amen, as my friend Davina says, the yes and the amens confirm that we are supposed to be doing what we're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. And maybe we all started out as accountants working behind a desk, filling out financial statements,
Mhm.
filling out tax returns, yet the entire time yearning to do more. And Jay and I both have decided this a long time ago that we desire for more, which is to make an impact in the world, to create the experiences. Because what I know to be true and what he knows to be true is that it's not about the freaking taxes or the money per se. It is about the sense of lack of value, lack of worthiness, lack of self acceptance, lack of love, joy, happiness, all of that. And what him and I are both saying is he has a tool to help us to connect, to bind ourselves, and to reaffirm that it is possible to be an accountant and still have the work being done while still allowing ourselves to do the things that we want to do in this lifetime. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Can I get an
Absolutely.
amen? Can I get an amen?
Hey,
Listen,
man.
if you're watching this right now, or if you're post watching this, leave me an amen in the comments. Let me know you're in agreement with me and that I'm fulfilling my life's purpose. So, if you'd like to know two things, if you'd like to know, one, you're an accountant. How do I begin the offshore process? Talk to Jay. Jay, what is a good contact number for you? And I'm going to type it right now in the comments. So, what's a good phone number for you?
You can 415-644-5933. That's my office number.
415, a little slower.
644-5933.
5953 415 664 5953. Jay Dahal. He's a CPA. He's a CTC, CTP. He's all the same things I am too, babies. And you've got to connect with him at 415 664 5953. Jay,
5933.
uh,
5933.
oh,
Right.
crapola. It's 5933. And Jay, what's a good email address for you?
Info
Uh-huh.
at focusyourfinance.com.
Hey, by the way, I love his website. It's awesome, possum. Um, and of course, ladies and gents, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a woman, if you're a gay man who owns a business and is going, how much do I charge for something? Am I really worth what I'm charging? Let's you and I have a chit chat because here's what I know to be true. The moment we accept who we are in its truest full sense is when we begin to raise our value, raise our vibration, as Abraham Hicks says, and attracts the right clients, attracts the right business partners. So if you want to know more and you want to connect, send me an email. Let's get naked at nakedtaxtalk.com. And what else I'd like to share with you all in these last parting words is this. Happiness comes from within inside ourselves. It starts with us looking in the mirror in the morning. And instead of focusing on the messy hair or the green teeth from sleeping or the unshaven face or the saggy boobs or the sagging balls or whatever, it's about focusing on the positive things about who you are in the mirror. It's about looking in the eyes and saying to yourself, "Good morning, sunshine. Good morning, beautiful. I love how you slept last night. I love how you shared your story yesterday. I just love you." Because when you say it to yourself, you must believe it. Because what then happens is this: Jay, I love you, man.
I love you too, Jonathan.
You see, and I believe him because I believe it myself. So with that, I'm the founder here, host of Naked Tax Talk. You guys want to get on my show? Send us a message. Oh, I forgot. There's a QR code that we're going to release that and a website and a web link for the Naked Tax Talk bathrobe because these 4 bathrobes will tell us a hell of a lot of who you are. Jay, I want you to take it, and then I want you to come back on my show once we identify your bathrobe.
Absolutely.
Um,
Will do.
and what you guys should know. Oh, I said we were gonna wrap it up 6 minutes ago, but I digress. One last freaking thing, and this is this: Jay and I are actually joining forces because 2 brains are better than for 1. And what Jay is doing for me as an accountant, so for my fellow accountants, is we're working together to add more value to our clients through the experience of more time with me by allowing his firm to work on the compliance side of their life while still getting the highest quality value because they're CPAs, they're chartered accountants, they're EAs, you name it. The compliance is still extremely high level. Why? Because when you're business owners, babies, you only work with those that are the same highest caliber as you,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
So with that in mind, just know that Jay and I will be working a lot together, and I look forward to presenting him more places I go to so that everyone can also fall in love with him. And one last thing, Jay, something amazing happened in your life like 3 days ago. What happened 3 days ago or so?
Oh, I had a baby. I know, 5 days. Actually, he's a week old now. Today's Sunday. This last week, this morning, 5:26 a.m. He was born. We're gonna call
Yes,
him AJ.
and his name is AJ, right?
Yeah,
AJ was born 5 days ago. And Jay, you are taken. You have a wife.
I have a wife. Yeah.
Yep. And she, of course, supports everything you do.
Hmm.
And that's what we want. So, with that in mind, listen, folks, you want to talk some more? You want to find out how to free up your life and try and feel happiness through tax planning, believe it or not, and or you're an accountant and you want to free up your times, babies, connect with Jay or myself. All right. Until then, have a great and amazing day and or evening, whenever you've watched this. And last but not least, until we get naked, we cannot bear down to the naked truth. Talk to you guys later.
True that.